If you could change the way you wake up in the morning, stop saying, I got to go to work. I got to work out. I got to get this weight off of me. Change one word in that sentence, and everything about your life changes. I get to wake up in the morning. I get to go to work. When you say I got to, you take all of your opportunities and all of your blessings and you wrap them up in stress by saying I got to.
In this lecture of the course, we're going to be taking a look at the WordPress dashboard overview. So if you are a complete beginner with WordPress and you do not know how WordPress dashboard works, then this lecture is going to really help you understand that. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. So now you can see that back in the previous lectures, we installed WordPress. And now it is WordPress' job to actually let us edit this whole website that we see right here. Now you can see that we already have got a sample page created by the default, and we already have a home page over here. But let's suppose that if we want to edit anything, then how can we do that? And the answer is really simple. You have to access the admin panel or the dashboard. So in order to access the admin panel, what you have to do is to type in there localhost :8080, and then you have to type in there /wp-admin, and then you have to hit on enter. And it is then going to check if you are logged in. It will take you to the admin panel, and if you are not logged in, it will just tell you to enter your username and your password that you entered while you were installing WordPress. So let's just go ahead and let's enter our username, and let's enter the password that was ASDFGH. And now what we have to do is to hit on login, and it is going to log us in to the WordPress dashboard. Now this WordPress dashboard might seem a little bit confusing to you right now. But after this video, it is going to really much easier for you to understand each and everything. So now you can see that we have installed WordPress. Now it is completely the WordPress job to edit the website. And that is why they have provided us with this admin panel. So let's just go ahead and let's understand this admin panel step by step. So first of all, you can see that we have got this admin menu that is going to be shown to you if you are logged in. And what this is going to do is that this is going to let you switch between the public website, so you can bring your mouse to the title, and then you can click on visit website so that you can see that how your website looks like. Similarly, it is going to also help you go back to the admin panel so that you can just click on that rather than typing /wp-admin. Similarly, if you want to log out, what you can do is that you can bring your mouse to your username, and then you can click on log out, and you will be logged out of the website. Now let's just go ahead and let's take a look at this sidebar. So this home page is going to be the useless. It is going to show you some of the things that you should do with your website. Now since you already have this course, you can actually leave this page. In the updates page, there is going to be all of the updates that you might get in the future. Like let's suppose that there is a newer version of the WordPress, you will be able to update that from here. And let's suppose that if there is a newer version of the theme and the plugin that we will be talking later on in this lecture, what are those, you will be able to update that as well. In the post, you will be able to add post. Now we will be talking about these posts later on in the course when we will be working with the blog website, since posts are actually used in the blog website. In the media, there is going to be all of the media your website is going to contain. It is kind of like the phone gallery. Like you can see that when you take a picture, it gets stored in the media or the phone gallery. Same goes with the media library. All of the images that you are going to be adding on your website are going to be shown in the media library. After that, we have got this pages, and if you click on this, it is going to take you to the all pages. So in the all pages, you are going to see a list of all of the pages that your website is going to contain. Now you can see that we have got a one sample page that is published. And if we bring our mouse to the title and we visit the website in a new tab, now you can see that we have got this sample page. So now let's just go ahead and let's create a new page. In order to create a new page, you either have to click on the Add New, or you can click on this Add New, or you can bring your mouse to this and click on Page. And it is going to take you eventually to the Add New page. So let's just go ahead and let's add the title of the page. I'll be writing in here About, and now in here I'll be adding some of the content. Now I'll be using a dummy content from this website, that is lipsum.com. Now this lipsum.com is going to provide you some of the dummy content that you can use on the website where you do not know which type of content you are going to be using. This is going to really help you when you are building a website for a client and you do not know what to write. So you can add the dummy content, then you can submit that website to the client, and then the client can actually give you the updated content and you can update that. So let's just go ahead and let's click on Generate Lorem Ipsum, and this is going to take us to this page where now we can copy the content. So let's copy the first 3 paragraphs, and now let's go to the website and now let's paste this. And now you can see that every single content is now pasted. Now if I just click on Publish and I hit on Publish, and now if I view the website, you will see that instead of the sample page, I now also have got the About page as well. So that's how you can go ahead and you can create a page in the website. Now do not worry about how you can customize each and everything, because this lecture is only the overview. In the upcoming lectures, we'll be diving deeper into each and everything. And after that, we will be eventually building this website together. So do not worry about that. Similarly, with this default page editor that we have over here, what you can do is that you can make any of the text to be bold. So let's suppose you can select that. Now you can click on bold and it is going to be bold. You can change something to be italic. It's going to be converted into italic. And similarly, you can also make any of the text to be a particular link. So you can select that and then you can add the link. So let's suppose that we want our users to be redirected to google.com. We can select that, and if anyone is going to click on this, he's going to be taken to google.com. Similarly, let's suppose that if we want to add a heading, we can just bring our mouse to this plus, and now we can click on that and we can select heading from here. And the heading is then going to be added over here. So let's suppose that we want to write here who we are, and then this is going to be the heading. And now we can bring this heading up to the top as well. Alright, now we can do particularly some kind of stylings as well with this heading, like we can add a background color. And let's change the text color to be the black. Similarly, what we can do is that we can also add an image. So we can click on the plus. Now we can click on the image right here. And now we can just click on the media library. And it is going to see if our media library contains any image. Now you can see that inside a media library, there is no image. That means that we can actually add an image. So you can get an image by clicking on the resources and clicking on the image, and that image is going to be downloaded. After that, you can drag and drop that image, and it is then going to be shown over here. Now you can click on select, and now you can see that this is actually the image that we have over here. Now if we go ahead and we hit on update, and now if we refresh this page, you can see that the look of the page is now changed. So that's how you can go ahead and you can create a page inside the WordPress. Now in the next lecture, we're going to be actually learning how we can create a 3-page basic website by implementing everything what we have done in this lecture. After that, we've got the comments. Now, since this comment is actually related to the post, we're going to be talking about comments in that blog section. Then we've got the appearance. And if we click on it, it is going to take us to the themes right here. And now you can see that I've got this 2023 theme, which is the active theme. Now, if I just go ahead and I activate this 2022 theme, if I just click on activate, and now if I go ahead and I refresh this page, you can see that the look and feel of my website is changed. Similarly, if I just go ahead and I activate this 2021 theme, then you will see that the look and feel of my website is going to be changed. So that's how the themes basically work. The themes decides the look and feel of your website. Now we're going to be diving deeper into the themes later on in the course, so do not worry about that. Now there is one thing that I want you to do, and that is just go into the add new, alright, and then install the 2019 theme, which is the basic theme right here. The reason why I want you to install that theme is that because that is going to be a really basic theme, and it does not automatically create pages when we are customizing the theme itself. The other themes that we have over here do automatically create those pages, so that is why it is recommended that you install that theme. So what you have to do is to either search for 2019, or you can go down and you should see the 2019 over here. So if you do not see this, what you can do is that you can search for 2019. And then you have to click on install, and then this theme is going to be installed on the website. So once this theme gets installed, now you have to click on activate. And now if you go to the website and you refresh this, you can see that this is how now the theme looks. And now you can see that we do not have a menu as well. And that is why I chose this theme, so that we can do each and everything from the scratch. Alright, so just go ahead and activate this 2019 theme. Now let's just go ahead and let's talk about the plugins. So what are the plugins? Plugins are basically apps, or in other words, the add-ons for your website. So like, let's suppose that when you purchase a mobile phone, then that particular mobile phone can let you make a phone call, receive a call, send a message, receive a message, and these are the things that the phone can let you do. But let's suppose that if you want to edit a picture that you have taken from your phone camera, then let's suppose that your phone does not allow you to do that. So what you have to do is to go into the App Store or the Play Store, and then you have to search for that app, and then that particular app lets you edit your photos that you have on your phone. Same goes with the plugins. So now if I just go ahead and I go to the About page, and if I just click on Edit Page, now you can see that WordPress is allowing me to add so many of the things right here that I can add just directly by clicking on that, and that is going to be added. But WordPress does not allow me to add a contact form on my website. So let's suppose that if I want to install or add a contact form on the website, then what I can do? The answer is really simple. I would just have to go into the plugins, and like the themes we install a theme, we can go into the Add New, and we can add a contact form plugin by searching for that. And it is going to show us the contact form. Now if I just click on install, this contact form is going to be installed on the website. Now when you install an app, what you have to do is to go into the menu, and then you have to open that app. But in the WordPress, when you install a plugin, you have to activate that plugin by going into the install plugins, clicking on activate, and then you can actually use that app. So when you install an app on the mobile phone, the icon of that app appears on the menu. Same goes with the plugins. With some of the plugins, when you install that, the icon appears right here. So if I deactivate, you can see that the contact that was here is gone. And if I click on activate, the icon is right here. So this is how the apps or the plugins work in the WordPress. Now I'll just click on the contact forms. So now, since this is actually an overview, that is why I will not be showing you how we can edit this contact form and everything, but I will just show you how the plugin is actually going to work. So now you can see that I've got this short code. And if I just click on it, now I can copy the short code of that by pressing Command C or Control C. And now I can go to my Edit About page, and now I can go down. And now let's suppose that right down below I want to add the contact form, so I can hit on enter. And now I can paste this short code. And you can see that now this is right here. And now I can hit on update. Now you can see that if I just click on view page and if I go down, I now have got the contact form. So that's how you can go ahead and you can add plugins on your website to make your website either much more functional or much more attractive. Now I'll be going ahead and I'll be deactivating this plugin and I'll be deleting this plugin. And we will be actually adding this contact form later on in the course. And now if we go ahead and we refresh this about page, you can see that this is just acting as a text because WordPress does not know what to do with this form. So now let's just go ahead and let's go to the users. In the users, there is going to be all of the users that your website is going to contain. So like let's suppose that in the future when we will be working with the e-commerce website, then there will be customers coming onto the website and purchasing the products. So all those customers' data will be in the users page. Similarly, let's suppose that if you actually want to hire a person to edit any of the thing in your website, then you can click on add new and you can add the details of that person, and that person will then be able to edit the website. So you can assign that person a role, like that person is going to be the editor of the website who will be given access to create the pages and everything, and he will not be able to delete anything. So these type of roles can be added to the users as well. Similarly, in the profile, you will be able to edit your profile. So let's suppose that if you want to change the styling, let's suppose that some users like to see this color scheme and some users like to see the light color schemes, and you might want to use any type of other color scheme for the dashboard, the dashboard is much really harsh to your eyes and you do not want to use the default one, then you can change that, and these type of settings you can do in this profile page. Similarly, you will also be able to actually change your password. So you can see that our password was ASDFGH. Now if I want to change the password to QWERTY, I can select that, and now I can confirm the use of weak password, and now I can hit on update profile. And now my password is going to be updated. So now if I log in using my previous password, I will not be able to log in. So these type of things you can do in the profile. And then we have got the tools that is going to contain whether you want to import your website to any other website or you want to export your website, you can do these type of things in the tools. And similarly, in the settings, you will be able to change the settings of your website. Now we will be talking about these settings later on as we will be progressing with this course, because you can see that there are actually so many of the settings. Now I do not want you to get confused, and that is why I cannot just tell you the settings right now, because different projects require different settings, and when we will be working with those projects in the future, then we will be relating with those settings, and I will show you what this setting is actually going to do, and then you will be able to understand that much better. Finally, we have got this collapse menu, and if you click on this, your menu is going to be collapsed, And if you click on this, your menu is then going to be open. So this was actually the dashboard overview. Now, if you are getting overwhelmed a bit, I just want to say that do not worry. You have got this course and you have got the lifetime access to this course. So just take it at your own pace. You can come back as often as you like, as you have got the lifetime access. Also, I'm just a one single click away. So if you face any difficulty, you know that you can just post a question and I will reply to your question as soon as possible. So do not worry. And from the upcoming lectures, I will be showing you how you can actually build this website step by step, and over my shoulder, you will be able to see how you can implement each and everything.
India is a country that definitely is not easy to understand. There's many sides to her. She's beautiful, unpredictable, and scary at times. India has taught me that we should appreciate diversity, that we should be kind to one another, and that, in the end, we should keep our friends and family close to our hearts.
In this lesson, we will learn how to create a basic 3-page website. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. From this lecture onwards, I'll be talking a bit more faster. And the reason for that is because now we are fully done with the basics of WordPress. So now if you think that I'm talking much faster, then you can control the playback speed by clicking on here, and you can select if I want to talk very much slow, so you can set this to 0.75. And if you think that I'm talking much slower, then you can also increase the playback rate to 1.25 or 1.5x so that I can talk much more faster. Let's just go ahead and let's get started. So now, as the previous lecture, we changed our theme to 2019. So if you actually go ahead and we go into the theme, you can see that we've got the 2019 theme. In the pages, we also created a one single page that was the About Us. Now what we have to do is to create 2 more pages. That is going to be the home page and the contact us page. So since we do not need the sample page anymore, we can click on trash and this is going to be deleted. Let's just go ahead and let's click on add new so that we can add our home page and our contact us page. Now what I would actually recommend you to do is to go ahead and click on these 3 dots over here. Click on that and just uncheck this full screen mode so that we can also see the WordPress dashboard over here, because I kind of like it this way. Let's just go ahead and let's add our page content. In the title, we will be naming this title to be the home page. That is going to be the home. Now we will be going ahead and we will be going to lipsum.com so that we can get some of the content from here. So now I'll just go ahead and I will click on generate lorem ipsum, and this is going to be taking me to the page, and I can now just copy the first 2 paragraphs. Now I'll just go to the website and I'll paste it inside the website. Now here what you can do is that you can also change the the paragraph to any other element as well. So like you can see that this is actually the paragraph block. Now I'll be clicking on here and you can see that I can change this into a heading. Now I would not change this full paragraph into a heading, otherwise it's going to be pretty much bigger. So like let's suppose that I want to change this into a quotation as well. So if I just click on quote, this is going to be turn it into a quotation, and I can just like change this to like who said this, add a citation, the author name. So like let's suppose that John Doe said this text. All right, now right down below we can add another block. So we can just click on this plus over here, or we can click on this plus and we can select an image from here. All right, so let me go into the media library. I'll select this image and I'll click on select, and you can see that this is the image right here. Similarly, I can also change the image style. So I can click on here, and now here let's suppose that I want to change this into a cover. All right, and here is going to be a cover. So I'll just change this into the welcome to my website. All right, and now I'll be changing the text color to actually white so that it is pretty much visible. All right, now once I'm done with that, I'll be going ahead and I'll be clicking on publish, and this page is going to be published. Now I can view this page and I'll be taken to the home page, and this is how the home page looks like. Now let me tell you one thing. if I just click on the menu or the logo over here, the title, I'll be taken to the home page over here. And on the home page, I'm not getting the home page itself. Like, in order to access the home page, I need to go into the dashboard in the pages. I need to click on all pages, and now I need to view this page. And this page is actually in the localhost :8080/home. Alright, so I do not want it this. I want it this way so that if I click on the logo, the home page should be loaded. Alright, so I want it this way. So in order to do that, or in order to make your home page to be the home page, what we actually need to do, we need to go into the dashboard. And now once we are in the dashboard, now we have to go into the settings, and now we have to go into the reading. So inside the reading, here it says your home page displays. So what we will do is that we will click on a static page, and now we will select our home page to be the home page that we actually created. We can select that. Now we can hit on save changes, and now if you go ahead and we visit the website, you can see that now we are getting on the home page, we are getting the home page over here. So that's it. Now we are done with the home and about page. Now what we have to do is to create a last page that is going to be the contact us page. So we will go into the dashboard. Now we will go into the pages, and we will go to the add new, and now we will be entering the title over here that is going to be contact us. And now in here we will be adding a block. So let's just go ahead and let's click on this plus, and let's suppose that if you want to add a list over here. So in the list, I'll be entering first of all the phone number. Alright, so in the phone, I'll be entering colon over here, and now I'll be entering the phone number. Now I'll be entering enter, and in here I'll be entering email, colon, and now I'll be entering the email. Let's suppose that this is going to be info@example.com. Now I'll hit enter, and now I'll be entering address, colon, and let's suppose that the address is actually Liverpool, comma, UK. Alright, so let's suppose that this is actually the information. Now I'll be making this phone to bold, so I'll select that. I'll be making this email to bold as well, so I'll select that. And I'll be changing this address to be bold as well, so I'll select this to be bold. Now I'll go ahead and I'll hit on publish, and I'll hit on publish, and now if I just go ahead and I view this page, you can see that we have also got our contact us page as well. So now we have got all three pages created. Now what we have to do is to actually show the menu. So if you visit the website, you can see that we want to show the menu over here so that the person can actually browse through the website. So what we can do, we can go into the dashboard. Now we can go into the appearance. Now we can go into the menus, and now we can create our menu. So we will name this menu to be menu 1. Like, you can enter any name over here, or you can set this to be primary menu as well. So like, it totally depends upon you. I'll be entering menu 1 over here, and I'll be hitting on enter, and now you can see that that menu is created. Now in the pages, I'll select all the pages, and I'll select home, about, and contact us, and I'll hit add to menu. Now similarly, I can also bring this contact us over here, so I can do that particularly as well. Now I'll be just using this order, home, about, and contact, and now I'll hit on save menu. So now once this menu gets saved, now if you go ahead and we visit the website, you can see that we do not get to see the menu. And the reason for that is because we have to tell WordPress like where we want to show this menu. So what we can do, we can go into the dashboard. Now we can go into the appearance and menus. Now in here you can see that we've got this menu 1 that we created previously. Now we will go ahead and we will set the display location to be primary menu, and we will hit on save menu. Alright, that's it. Now if you go ahead and we visit the website, you can see that now we've got this home, and if we click on about, we are taken to the about us page. And if we click on contact us, now we are taken to the contact us page. So this is how you can go ahead and you can create an ugly 3-page website, and that's how easy it is. Now if you go ahead and we go to appearance, and then we go into the themes over here, and now let's suppose that if we install a new theme, and this time we are going to be installing the 2020 theme. Alright, so I'll be going ahead and I'll be clicking on install, and now once this theme gets installed, now I'll be clicking on themes. And now let's suppose that if I activate this 2020 2020 theme. And now if we view this website, you can see that this is how it looks like. We've got the home, about, and contact us. So any theme you go ahead and you take a look at that, you will see that the look of that is going to be changed. So that's it. Now we are fully done with the layout of WordPress. We now know how we can go ahead and how we can create pages inside the WordPress. In the next lecture, we will be taking a look at the customize. So we will learn how we can go ahead and how we can customize the theme. And after that, we'll be moving forward. Stay tuned and bye-bye.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up.
In this lesson, we will learn how Theme Customizer works. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. But before getting it started, we need to understand a few things. The Theme Customizer versus the full site editing. So basically, in the 2022, WordPress released the full site editing inside the WordPress. And inside their 2022 theme, if we go ahead and we hit on activate, now you should see that there will be no theme customizer, yet we have got this editor. So basically they have released the full site editing that is not really appreciated nowadays, and so many of the theme developers are actually not incorporating that. So now if we go ahead and we install the most popular themes, we are not getting the full site editing inside there. So until and unless people are not actually accepting that, we're not going to be taking a look at that, because this full site editing is not being appreciated by the developers, and they are not incorporating that on the website. And it will take some time, probably like in the mid of 2024. This is going to be incorporated on the WordPress website, and once the theme developers actually accepts it, then we will be updating this lecture and we will be working with the full site editing. Until that, we will be going ahead and we will be going up with any of the themes. So if you go ahead and you activate that, you can see that there is no editor inside there, and we've got the default customize in here. So you go ahead, you activate the 2020 theme, you get that, you activate the 2021 theme, or you go ahead and you go into the add new and you install any of the most popular theme. All right, so we've got this Hello Elementor. This is the most popular. Astra theme, this is the most popular. And even if you go ahead and you install the Ocean WP theme, that is the most popular theme, you will see that there is not going to be the editor inside there. So until and unless the most popular theme developers incorporate that particular full site editing inside there, that is not going to be accepted by the developers worldwide. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and let's work with the theme customizer. That is what WordPress used to come with. Alright, so theme customizer is basically a layout presets that the theme developers itself provide us so that we can edit the layout. Now, if we go ahead and we go to the 2019 theme and we hit on activate, you can see that this theme is activated. And now if you go ahead and we go to the customize here itself, you can see that this is how it actually looks like. Now here what we can do is that we can go into the site identity and we can particularly change the website title from here. Also, we can also change the WordPress tagline. So like instead of this just another WordPress website, like I can say that since I am a WordPress developer, I can add that inside here and that is going to be shown over here. So I can change that. Similarly, I've got this website site icon, which is going to be appearing right over here. So you can see that we've got a WordPress logo. Now let's suppose that if I want any other custom icon, then I can upload an image at least of 512 pixels, and that is going to be appearing on top over here. Similarly, we have got the options to change the colors, so we can go ahead and we can change particularly some of the colors on the website. Like if I select custom colors and now I go down, now let's suppose that I want to use the red colors over here, then all the colors are actually going to be changed. You can see that I'm getting the red colors, and if I change these to the yellow, then the link colors are actually going to be changed to yellow. All right, so I'll be going ahead and I'll be going up with the default one. Now we've got this menus. So we have already talked about the menu before. So like we know how we can go ahead and how we can create a menu by just going into the themes and then just adding a menu. Like this is the menu that we actually created. All right, so let's go back. Now we've got this widgets. So widgets are something that we will be talking about in detail when we will be working with the blog website. All right, so now if you go into the project website that we will be building as our first project, now you can see that we are actually not using the widgets, but we are actually using some of the widgets right down below in the footer. So when we'll be building the footer of this website, then we will take a look at like how the widgets work. All right, now we've got this homepage settings, so we can take a look at like your homepage displays latest post or a static page. This is the setting that we already did by going into the settings of the WordPress dashboard and changing the settings from there. And that's it. These are the only theme customizing this theme provides. All right, so now what we can do is that we can just go ahead and we can hit on publish and we can click on cross. So this theme is a really basic theme. We just installed this theme just to actually work with the WordPress basics so that we can learn how to create pages. Now, from now onwards, what we will learn is that we will be going ahead and we will be moving to a most popular theme that we are also using on this project. Right here. So you can see that we are actually using a theme on this project. So we will be going ahead and we will be moving to that particular theme and then we'll be moving forward. The theme that we are actually using on this project is actually the Ocean WP theme. So what you need to do is to click on Add New. Now inside the most popular tab, you can go down and you can see that we've got this Ocean WP right here in the most popular tab. So if you do not see it, what you can do is that you can go ahead and you can search for Ocean WP and you will probably get this theme over here, with which you can go ahead and you can hit on install. And this theme is going to be downloaded from the WordPress repository. And once this gets downloaded, I can hit on activate and this theme is going to be activated. All right, so now here you can see that it says awesome, everything. So now what we need to do is to just go ahead and visit the website and let's see how does the website look. So now you can see that this is how the website looks like, and we've got the home page, about page, and the contact us page ready over here. And this is how everything is actually looking. So now if we take a look at this website, all right, this is going to be our first project. And now you can also see it yourself that this layout is actually pretty much matching with this layout. Now I basically zoomed in my screen a bit, so I'll be resetting that so that I can actually be reverted back to the default. Since I'm actually using a 1080p LED, that is why this is how it will be looking. But if you are actually using a laptop, that most of the students will be, so then on the laptop this is going to be your screen resolution and this is how it will be. All right, so let's just go ahead and let's set this to the normal width. All right, so now you can see that this is how it is actually looking like. And let's take a look at the theme customizer of this theme. So if I just go ahead and I go into the dashboard, now I go ahead and I go into the appearance and now I click on customize. So now you can see that I've got pretty much options over here and I can style my website accordingly. So like let's suppose that if I just go ahead and I go into the site identity, you can see that this is how it's looked like. We've got the tagline, we've got the site title, and I can also upload the site icon. Similarly, we've got the colors option, we've got the menus options, and we've got the widgets. Now menus is the one that we have already worked with the default. Now the thing that I want you to know is that let's suppose that if we actually go into the top bar, all right, so you can see that inside the top bar, let's just take a look at our project over here. So you can see that we've got this top bar over here. Now what I'll be doing is that I'll be going ahead and I'll be going into the general tab and I'll be making some of the changes. Now there is one thing that I would actually recommend you to do. I would suggest you to not implement what I'm doing right now. All right, just watch this just to get information and how everything is working, and from the next lecture we will be actually copying this tile and then we will be moving forward. All right, so right now I would just recommend you to go ahead and just watch this. So now what I'll be doing is that I'll be going ahead and I'll be going up with the background color and I'll be applying, let's suppose, the blue color over here, and you can see that the blue color is right here. Now what I can do is that I can go into the text color and I can change this to white, and you can see that now this is actually turned into white, which is kind of a bit similar to this that we have over here. Now what I'll do is that I'll go back, and now I'll be going up with the header over here, which is this over here, and now I'll be going into the general. And you can see that here I can work with these styles and everything. So like, let's suppose that if I want the background color of this header to be blue as well, then you can see that how this color is actually turned into blue. And similarly, I can now go back, and now in the menu, now what I can do is that I can change the link colors. All right, so I can go ahead and I can change the link colors to white, and now you can see that how these link colors are actually appearing. So that's how we can go ahead and we can style these accordingly, and we can build a website header. Similarly, if we go ahead and we hit on go back, and we hit on go back, now we have also got this footer over here. So right here you can see that we've got this footer widgets that is going to be appearing over here, and right down below we've got this copyright. All right, so inside the footer bottom we've got the copyright, so you can just add in like your copyright, your website address, website developed by your name. So you can just enter something like that, and then you can change the text color to white so that this is pretty much visible. Now let me tell you one thing about the themes, is that any theme, you go ahead and you install that on your website, that is going to let you edit the header of your website, that is going to let you edit the footer of your website. Whatever that is in between over here, that theme might let you, like you can see that we've got this text over here. All right, so if I just go ahead and I just go into the typography, all right, and in the body, all right, let's suppose that I want to change the text. All right, so I change the text to anything else like this. Now you can see that the text of the website is fully changed, all right, by just a single click. I can do that, but I cannot design this website accordingly. Like, let's suppose that if I want to use this styles over here, like I've got a background image, I've got this right here, and behind that I've got some of the shadow. Not only that, if I bring my mouse, how this image is actually moving up a bit, I've got hover effects and so many more things. So if you want to do these types of designs, then your theme is not going to allow you to do that. However, there are some themes that are available that comes with a page builder inside themselves, so you can use that theme and you can do that. But the generic themes or the general themes that we have nowadays, they will only let you edit the header of your website and only let you edit the footer of your website. Whatever that is in between, that is actually edited using a page builder, and we will be talking about that deeply later on from the next lecture. So now, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on actually learning how you can go ahead and how you can create a basic 3-page website. All right, that was the start. Once you're done with that, you can now design your website accordingly. All right, and from the next lecture, we will be actually copying this header style. We will learn how we can go ahead and how we can design this type of header. Then we will learn how to design this type of footer over here on this website. And after that, we will be moving on to the page builders, and we will learn how we can go ahead and how we can design these type of page builders as they are being shown over here. So from the next lecture, we'll be working up with that. Now, what I'll be doing is that I'll be clicking on cross over here so that my changes that I just did are not saved. And now if I go ahead and I click on visit website, you can see that I'm reverted back to the default. So like there was no issue like if you were not copying as it is like what I was doing. All right. So now from the next lecture, we'll be working with the theme customizer, and we will be starting with the project. We will learn how to just like take a look at this, how to design that, and after that we'll be working with the page builder. Stay tuned and bye-bye.
यार कल्चरली ना बहुत रिच है भारत, बहुत मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा. समटाइम्स आई ऑल्सो फील, मुझे ना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. देयर इज़ नो प्लेस आई वॉन्ट टू बी एक्सेप्ट इंडिया. आई एम वेरी प्राउड टू बी बॉर्न इन इंडिया एंड टू बी बॉर्न इन दिस कल्चर. किसी भी हिस्से में चले जाओ ना, हर जगह एक अलग ही कल्चर है. द ब्यूटी, द आर्किटेक्ट, द फूड, इट्स सो अमेजिंग. मैं कहीं और सेटल नहीं हो सकती हूँ.
Welcome back, my dear students, and in this lecture we will be working with the top bar design. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. So now the very first thing that I need you to do is to go ahead and open this website, itanzl.com, so that you can see the actual project that we will be building, and then we can go ahead and we can start working with that. In this lecture, we will learn how to actually design or work with the top bar that we have here that is in the blue color. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. Now, the very first thing that you actually need to do is to go ahead and go into the appearance, themes, and make sure that you do have got the Ocean WP installed. That's it. This is the only thing that you need to do. And once you are in here, now we need to take a look at the customize. So inside this customize, there is going to be so many of the extra features. All right, like in the colors, we can work with the colors, but we do not need to actually work with the color over here. Like let's suppose that if I change this into the black over here, now you can see that it doesn't make much of a difference. So we will be only taking a look at all those settings that are mostly required for basically developing a basic website. And later that in the project 4, we will also learn how to actually work or build our own custom header, so we do not actually rely on a theme. So that is why these settings that we are actually getting in here, they're not that much important. But since we want to actually build our first project based on a basic theme, that is why we have to work with that. So now once you are actually in the theme customizer, now what you have to do is to go ahead and you go into the top bar. Now once you are in the top bar, now what we have to do is to first of all change the color of our top bar to the blue. So we will go into the general tab. Now we will go ahead and we will select our background color to be blue. That's it. Once we're done with that, we will go down and we will change our text color to white so that this actually turns into the white color. Now you can see that we've got our top bar ready. Now we are ready to install or add the content in here. So we will go back, we will open the content, and now you can see that we've got this here that says place your content here. So let's just go ahead and let's place our content. What we will do is that we will get rid of everything that we have in here. And the very first thing that we actually need to do is to first of all show a phone icon over here. So how do we show the phone icon? We need to go to a website that is the fontawesome.com. And once you are on this website, now what we have to do is to search for our font. So we will click on here, and this is going to actually take us to the search page. For now we have to search for the phone, and now we have to hit on enter, and you can see that we are actually being given the phone icon. So now what we need to do is to click on here, and you can see that we've got this code over here. So we can click on here, and this code is going to be copied. Now if we go ahead and we go to the website and we paste in this code, you can see that we should be given a phone icon. If this phone icon is not visible to you, or if you are given the square over here, then this is probably basically that the Font Awesome has recently updated their website and they have changed every of the code. It might take some of the time for the developers of the themes to incorporate the latest version of the Font Awesome to incorporate on the website. So until and unless if you are actually getting this square over here, then what I would actually suggest you to do is to right after this lecture, you should see this Font Awesome not working. And here is going to be the link of the previous version of the Font Awesome. So what you can do is that you can copy this link. Now you can go into the Font Awesome, and now you can paste in that link, and now you have to hit on enter. So now this is going to be the previous version of the Font Awesome. Now what we can do is that we can search for the phone icon, and we can hit on enter, and you can see that we've got this phone. Now you need to click on here, and now you have to copy this code. All right, so now what we have to do is to just select all, and now we have to paste in that, and now you can see that we are getting the font over here, which is the phone icon. Now what we have to do is to enter our phone number. So we will give a space. Now we will add here +1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Let's suppose that this is going to be our phone number. Now what we need to do is to give a space, and now we have to add another icon, and that is going to be the email icon. So this is right here. So what we will do is that we will click on cross in the Font Awesome. Now we will search for the email, and we will hit on enter, and you should probably be getting the email. So let's go down, and you can see that we've got this envelope icon. So we will click on here, and now we will click on the code snippet, and that is going to be copied. Now what we can do is that we can just paste in that code, and you can see that now we've got this email icon as well. So now in here we can add the email. That's going to be info@domain.com. Let's suppose that this is the email address. All right. Now, later on, when we'll be transferring the website to the online, then I will also show you how you can create branded emails as well, like info@yourdomainname.com as well. So that is also included in the course as well. All right. So now here what we want to do is that we want to give much more spacing in between the envelope icon and the phone number. So let's just go ahead and let's give space. So if I just give this space, you can see that when I'm giving the space is not being given. No matter how much space I give, this is not being given. So why is that? The reason is because this is being interpreted as the HTML, and inside the HTML, no matter how many spaces you give, that is going to be converted as in a one single space. So what we have to do is to use the HTML code for the space. So what we can do is that we can write here n% in between the envelope icon and the phone number, and after that we have to write here NBSP. And now we have to add a semicolon, so make sure to add a semicolon too. And now you can see that we are actually given much more spacing in here, and you can see that this is how it's actually looking. So now we are done with the top bar, and you can see that our top bar design is ready. Now what we have to do is to add our social links in here. So how do you add these social links? You just click on go back. Now we've got the social over here, so we will click on here, and you can see you can select whether you want to enable that or disable that. Since we want to enable that, we'll click on here. Now we will go down and we will be entering our Twitter username, so you can add here twitter.com/your username, so you can add in like that. But since I do not have a Twitter account yet, so I'll be just adding a hash over here so that this icon should be visible, but if someone will click on it, he will not be taken to that particular page. All right, so this is actually called a dummy link. All right, so now in here you can add your Facebook page or profile URL, so you can add that. And similarly, you can also add your Instagram. So Instagram can be like instagram.com/your username. All right, so let's suppose that we also add the Instagram as well. I'll be adding a hash over here. Now the social links color, I'll be changing this to black. All right, this is going to be converted into the black color, and I'll be changing the hover. Now what is actually the hover? So you can see that as I bring my mouse to any of the icon, now let's suppose that I want to change the color of it, then this is actually called the hover. So hover means that when you bring your mouse to any of the element, you want that color to change. Yes, we want to change, so we will set this to white. And now see it. All right, if I bring my mouse to the icon, how this color is actually changing. So this is what is called the hover effects. Now you can see that we are actually fully done with our header or the top bar. We will click on publish, and now we will click on cross, and let's have a look at our website live. So you can see that this is how the website looks like, and congratulations on achieving the number 1 part of this project. In the next lecture, we will be working with the header. I will show you how you can design a header like this, and then we'll be moving forward. So stay tuned, and bye-bye.
Well, I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world. I am a fan of Modi, so I like him quite a lot. It was a fantastic meeting with the Prime Minister. He really cares about India. He's pushing us to make significant investments in India.
Welcome back, my dear students, and in this lesson, we will learn how we can go ahead and how we can design the header. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. So first of all, what I need you to do is to open your project in here, and then also open your website in another browser. Now what we have to do is to click on customize so that we are taken to the theme customizer. Now what we'll be doing is that we will be implementing the header styles as we are actually getting it in here. So first of all, what we need to do is to go into the header, and right now you can see that we are inside the header. Now, as you can see that this header that is being used over here is a transparent header. And the reason why we're actually using that is because we have a background image below that. So until and unless we do not design the body area using a page builder, we cannot make this header to be transparent. So once we design the hero section or the body area that we have over here, then we'll be making this header into a transparent header. But until that, we will go ahead and we will set the header color to be blue as well. So we will go ahead and we will go into the general settings. Now we've got this background color, and we will change our background color of this header to be blue, which is the same. But we will be actually making this blue color a bit lighter by bringing it here. And now you can see that our blue color is going to be a bit lighter over here. And now you can see that this is how the header looks like. So now what we need to do is to design our header. Now you can see that we've got different styles for the header. So like inside here, we can set it to be minimal. And inside here, we have got this transparent. So you can see that we are actually using the header transparent over here. And if we select it to be transparent, whatever the color that will be right down below, that is going to be automatically matched with that. But since we do not want to use that, we will be changing this to minimal. Now what I would actually recommend you to do is to try every of the header and see how these header performs on the website. We'll be going ahead and we will be using the minimal in here. Once you're done with that, you can click on go back. Now you can go ahead and you can go into the menu so that we can design our menu. So first of all, we need to click on here. We'll be now taken into the menu. And now you can see that we've got the menu position, so we will be aligning that to right because this is the perfect spot. We will first of all go ahead and in the main styling, we will change the link color to white so that our text is pretty much visible. Now what we can do is that we can work with the hover colors. So like when we bring our mouse, whether we want to change the color. Alright, so we will go ahead and we will say that when we bring our mouse, we need the hover link color to be changed into black. So we will select black from here. Now we will click on here and let's see if this is being effective. Right? You can see that this is working perfectly okay. Now what we need to do is to actually work with the background. So you can also apply a background color on hover as well. So like let's suppose that if we bring our mouse, then we want to change the color, the background color to red. So you can see that how this is actually working. All right, now let me tell you one thing. Basically, when you are developing the website, you have to stick with two color combinations. Like you can see that on this website, this is the blue and the green color only. We are only using these colors. We're not using any other color. We are using the red color over here. And the reason for that is because that is a call to action. But you have to strict yourself with using as limited colors as you can as possible so that the user basically does not get an idea that this is really unprofessional website. So if you want more professionalism on the website, then try to use only two colors and do not go beyond that. That is the number one tip that I'm giving you. Alright, so since we do not want to use the background color, so on the hover, we will go ahead and we will clear that out and we will get rid of that. Now what we need to do is to go ahead and add the link effect. Alright, now this link effect is really great. Like if I just go ahead and I just set this to underline from left, now see it, alright? When I bring my mouse, how this underline effect is right here. So this is how you can go ahead and you can work with that, and I'll also change the color to black, so this is how it should be. Now what I would actually suggest you to do is to go ahead and try each of these effects and try it on your website, see how this is working. But what I'll be doing is that I'll be going ahead and I'll be choosing the triple dot under because this is what we are actually using on this website. So triple dot under looks like this, and we will be changing the link background link effect color to be black. So this is how it should be. Alright, it's not being effective, so let me change it first. It's effective now. I'll change this to black again, and let's click on here, and now you can see that this is working. Alright, so now if you go ahead and we go down, now you can see that we've got this drop down styling. So what is this drop down styling? Let's just go ahead and let's take a look at it. For the time being, what I'll be doing is that I'll be publishing the page and I'll be clicking on cross. Alright, now once I click on cross, I'll be going ahead and I'll be going into the dashboard. Now I'll go into the appearance and I'll go into the menus. And inside the menu, you can see that we've got the menu one that we actually created in the previous lectures. So now let's suppose that I want to add some more pages inside here. Now I'm not going to create those pages. Instead, we'll be adding dummy pages in here. So how do we add the dummy page? We add a link as a hash and then we add the title of the page. So we'll be going ahead and we will be going into the custom links, and in the URL we'll be adding a hash so that that is acted as a dummy link, and now we will be adding in here services. Alright, we will hit on enter and you can see that this is the services right here. Now I'll be bringing the services in here, and I'll be adding sub pages of the services that can be like web design. I'll hit on enter. I'll add graphic design. oh, sorry. I need to actually add a hash in here. Now I need to add in here graphic design. And now I'll be adding in here, and I'll be adding SEO. So like, let's suppose that these are the 3 services that we offer. So now what we'll do is that we will make this to be the sub element of the services by bringing it here. We'll bring our graphic design, and we'll be making that to be the sub element of the services. And we will be bringing our SEO, and we will be making that to be the sub element of that. Now if you go ahead and we hit on save changes, and now if you go ahead and we refresh this, this is the project page, I'm sorry. If you go ahead and we refresh our website, you can now see that we've got the services, and we've got all these services as a sub page being shown. But this link is not going to be effective because we are actually using the dummy links in here. Alright, so do not worry about it. Let's just go ahead and let's click on customize. And now once we are in here, now what we need to do is to go into the header, and now we need to go into the menu over here, and inside the menu, now we need to go down, and we've got the drop down styling. This is actually the drop down, right? So now what we will be doing is that we will be going ahead and we will be working with, first of all, the background color. So let's suppose that I want to use the same background color, which is the blue color. Now I'll be clicking on here, and I'll be selecting the link color to be actually white. So like, let's suppose that I want the link colors to be white. Now we've got this top border color that we have over here, so I'll be going ahead and I'll be changing the top border color to be black. And now you can see that we've got a top border color which is black. Now the normal border color that we have over here, we will keep it to be transparent. We do not want any border. So how you make a border transparent, like what you can do is that you can click on that. Now you can set this transparency to be 0, all right, and that border is not going to be shown. Right, so now you can see that there is no border, and this is how it's looking. So how cool and amazing this is actually looking, and we are actually done with our header over here. Now there are so many more stylings. You can go ahead, you can take a look at that. Like, let's suppose that you want to hide this search over here, so you can disable that, and there is not going to be any search over here. So you can regularly take a look at these type of things, and you can work with that. Now I'll be only touching those things that we are going to take a look at for project building, because later in the upcoming projects we have to build our own custom header. Alright, so that is why we will not be using the theme itself. We'll be using a page builder to design our own custom header according to our needs. Like, let's suppose that we want to add a button here, we want to add anything else, we can do that using the custom header, and we'll be working up with that in the upcoming projects. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and let's go back and let's take a look at the logo. Now for the personal website, we will not be actually uploading the logo over here. We will instead actually styling this logo, styling this title that we have over here. That is going to act as a logo. So in the logo, I'll go ahead and I'll change the color of this logo to white, so that this is how it should be. And let's see if this is the white. And on hover, this is turning into black. So we will go ahead and we will set the color on hover to be black. Now let's see. You can see that this is done. Now what we need to do is to change the font of it. So how do we change the font of anything inside the theme? We go back, and now we've got this typography. So we will click on here. Now what we want to do is to change the logo typography. So we will select logo from here. And now we've got this font family. Now you choose any of the font that is going to be applied, that is going to be changed, and you can see that this is how it looks like. So you can go down, you can take a look at that, like which font you want to use. So I'll be using the acronym font. So I'll be searching for acronym. This is the font that I want to use, so I'll click on here, and now you can see that my font is turned into the acronym, and this is how it looks like. For the font size, this is actually 24 pixels, so I'll be choosing 46 pixels, and the font is going to be pretty much bigger right here, and you can see this is how it looks like. Now you can see that in the project we've got the spacing. This is actually being given much more spacing, but in the project we do not have got that much spacing. So we will set the line height. Now how does the line height work? You can see that if I increase it, how much spacing it's going to give from the top and the bottom. So instead of 1.8, which was set to 1.8, I'll be setting this to 1.4, so that this actually matches that, and now it's looking perfectly okay. That's it. Now you can see that our header is fully designed, except for one thing, and that is we need to actually work with the border that we have over here, this line that we have over here. So what you can do is that you can go back. Now you can go into the top bar, and in the top bar you need to go into the general settings, And inside the general settings, you can see that we've got this border color. So we will click on here and we will set it to be transparent so that we do not have got any of the border over here. And now you can see that this is how this is actually looking. Now we are fully done with our header and also the footer. So in the next lecture, we'll be working up with our, I told footer over here. We are done with the header and we are also done with the top bar. So in the next lecture, we'll be working with the footer and I'll show you how you can go ahead and how you can design a footer like this. We'll be working up with that, and after that we will be moving forward and we will be understanding how we can go ahead and how we can work with the body area. So stay tuned and bye-bye.
Do you ever get frightened before a fight? Do you ever get nerves before a fight?
I'm nervous but not frightened. I'm nervous because the Fraser fight was watched by 1,000 million people, which is 5 times the population of everybody in the United States. And all those people and everything, that makes me nervous. Humble fellow from Kentucky, got lucky in sports, and now here's the house. The fight was piped in a place like Thailand to the government house. In Arabia, and the government officials took time off to watch the fight. And just for 2 men boxing, they set televisions on every street corner. People came out watching the fight on the streets. In Madison Square Garden, 10,000 people couldn't get in, and just over 1 man. And just imagine all them people watching you. That makes me nervous until I get started.
And then no nerves at all?
No.
Welcome back, my dear students, and in this lesson, we will learn how to work with the footer. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. Now, the very first thing that I want you to do is to first of all go to your lecture over here, and before this designing the footer, you should see this before starting the next lecture, install this plugin. So what you have to do is to install this plugin before designing the footer. So what we will do is that we will go ahead and we will go to the website. Now we will go ahead and we will go into the dashboard and we will go into the plugins and we will hit on add new. Now what we have to do is to search for this plugin that is going to be classic widgets. Alright, and now we have to hit on enter. Now once you are in here, now this plugin is by WordPress contributors that has got 1+ million active installation by the time I'm recording this lecture. So now I'll go ahead and I will hit on install now, and this plugin is going to be installed. Alright, so once this plugin gets installed, now you have to hit on activate, and this plugin is going to be activated. Now keep this plugin activated. This is a very lightweight plugin, so there is no need to worry. Now what we have to do is to go ahead and we have to go into the appearance, and now we have to go to the customize here. So now what we have to do is to actually design our footer. So how we're going to design our footer? The very first thing that we actually need to do is to go ahead and work with the footer bottom. So we will go ahead and we will go into the footer bottom. And now in here, what you can do is that you can go ahead and you can write here copyright. So like copyright, this is going to be like you can show your website name, copyright Tanzil. And now in here you can add a space, designed by Team Tanzil. So like, let's suppose that you want to write these as your copyright credits, all right? And then what you can do is that you can change the text color to white so that this is going to be pretty much visible, all right? And now what you can do is that you can click go back, and right now we are in here. Now what we have to do is to actually work with this, all right? So this is going to be about Tanzil, contact information, like us on Facebook. So like, let's suppose that you want to add some of the information in here like that. Then how you're going to do that? So let's just go ahead and let's work with that. First of all, what we need to do is to go ahead and we need to go into the footer widgets. All right, and in here you can decide like how many widgets you want to show. So let's suppose that we want to show 3 columns in here. All right, so in the first column we will be entering about us, contact information, and like us on Facebook. So let's suppose that these are the information we want to add. So then what you need to do is to select like you want to only add 3 columns. Now what we will do is that we will click on go back. Now you have to go to the widgets. So inside the widgets, now you should see footer 1, footer 2, footer 3. So inside the footer 1, we will select add a widget. And now we will be adding in here text. We will be searching for text, and you can see that we've got this text. So in the title, we will be entering the title about Tanzil. So let's just go ahead and let's copy that. And let's paste it in here. And now in here, you can add some of the dummy content. So you can copy that from libsyn.com. Now you can go into the generate lorem ipsum, and let's suppose that you want to use the first paragraph, which is quite really big. So let's just go ahead and let's paste it in here. Now you can see that this is right here. Now I'll be keeping this paragraph to be a bit shorter, so I'll be getting rid of this much. And now this is how this is actually looking about Tanzil. Now what you can do is that you can click on go back, and now you can go into the footer too. All right, and now in here, what you can do is that you can add another widget. And this is going to be the same text, so you can click on text. All right, and you can actually search for the text, and then you can click on text, and this is going to be right here. Now in here, what we can do is that we can write here contact information. And once you have added that, now what you can do is that you can go to the website, you can copy the phone number and everything, all right? And now you can go back to the website and you can paste it in here. And you can see that this is right here, so now you do not need to worry about it. Now you can click on here. Now you can also style this. Like you can see that we are actually using a bulleted list over here. We are making this to be bold, and our working days and everything is right here. So now what we can do is that we can go back. And in our footer 3, what we have to do is to add our like us on Facebook page. So what we can do is that we can click on add a widget. All right, and now what we have to do, we have to actually add a Facebook page link over here. So how do you add this? Like what you need to do is to actually go ahead and you have to search for Facebook like box. All right, you need to search on Google for Facebook like box. All right, and now you are actually in here. Now what you need to do is to click on here in the first link that's going to take you to developers.facebook.com. So now once you are in here, now you need to click on this page plugin. All right, and this is right here. We are right now in the page plugin. And now what you have to do is to enter the Facebook page URL. So let's suppose that I want to add the Facebook page URL of Apple or the iPhone. So I'll be going ahead and I'll be adding Apple in here, and Apple page is going to be appearing in here. Now in here you can select what is going to be the width and what is going to be the height of that. So let's suppose that I want the height to be 350 pixels maximum, and let's see what is going to be the height of that. So this is going to be the height. All right, now you can see that this is how it looks like. So now once you're done with that, now you need to click on get code. All right, that's it. This is the thing that you need to do. And now we have got this over here. Now what we have to do is to go back to our website. Now in the code, in the widgets, what we have to do is to select custom HTML. Now in here, in the title, we will be entering here like us on Facebook, or you can enter find us on Facebook. All right. Now what you can do is that you can add the content. So inside the content, what you need to do is to copy this. All right, so let's copy this. Let's go ahead and let's paste it in here. Now let's hit on enter. Now what we have to do is to copy this. And now we also have to paste it in here. That's it. This is the thing that you need to do. And now you should see the Facebook like box over here. So if you do not see it, don't worry. What you need to do is to click on done, or let's just go ahead and let's hit on publish. All right, once you're done with that, you just need to do that. Now you have to click on cross. Once you're done with that, now if you go ahead and you visit the website, you can see that this is going to, the website is going to access the Facebook, and now we have got this right here. Now what we have to do is to actually design this that we have over here. So what we can do is that we can click on customize. And now once we are in the customizer, now what we have to do is to go into the footer widgets, and now we can decide like how do we want to design it. So like first of all, we need to go ahead and we need to change the text color to actually white so that this is going to be much more visible. All right, and now we have got this link color, so we're not actually using the link colors, and that's it. Similarly, if you actually want to use the 4 columns, you can set this to use 4 columns, all right? And this is how it's going to be. Now what you can do is that you can click on go back, and now inside the widgets, all right, inside the 4th widget, you can add particularly any widget you want, and that is going to be added in here. It totally depends upon you, like how you want actually the widgets to be, and then that is going to be shown over there. So right now you can see that this is how the website is looking, and now we are fully done with the footer, and we are also fully done with the header as well. Now, do not worry about like if you are actually getting some of the restrictions. Like let's suppose that we want to design this footer at very much extent. Like let's suppose that we want to use buttons, we want to use hover effects, we want to use images as well, and so much more. Like let's suppose that we want to use so many more things with this footer. Then you can actually do that. And you will also learn in this particular course as well, because in the fourth project, the e-commerce website, we'll be working with so many more things, and you are going to be amazed to see the results. All right, since this is going to be the personal website, that is why we have to keep it to be as simple as we can, so that it looks much more better. That's it. Now we are fully done with that. In the next lecture, we will be taking a look at the page builder overview. All right, where I will tell you much more about the page builder, like how it actually works, and then we'll be going ahead and we'll be designing this website in no time. So this website will actually be designed probably like in 2.5 hours, and you'll be amazed to see the results. So stay tuned and bye-bye.
You're absolutely right. India represents a massive market opportunity. Many of your companies here will already have a trading relationship with India, and rightly so. If you look at where are the large middle classes in the world growing, they're growing there. So for all our fantastic UK consumer goods companies, it's an obvious market to expand in. That's why Kemi is hard at work engaging with the Indian government to see where we can make more progress on trade discussions that have been going on for a while. I spoke to Prime Minister Modi about it just recently. We're keen to see if we can make that work, right? Because of the obvious opportunity that it poses.
Welcome back, my dear students, and in this lecture, we will be working with the page builder. So let's just go ahead and let's get started. So now, before starting with the page builder, we first have to understand what a page builder is. Then we can move forward. So let's just go ahead and let's talk about that. If we go ahead and we go to the website, we log into the website, and now we click on the customize over here. Now we will be taken to the theme customizer, and these are the customization this theme is allowing us to do. So you go ahead, you go to dashboard, you go to themes, and you install any other theme. That theme customizer is going to be different. So theme customizer is basically what the theme developer has allowed you to do to your website. So we go ahead and we install any of the theme. That theme is going to let us customize the top bar, the header, and the footer. The thing that we need to do with the body that we have over here, that theme customizer is not going to let us design that. So basically, let's suppose that theme customizer would let us change the typography of the body, so we can change the font, we can increase the font size, and most importantly, that theme customizer would allow us to change the background color. But that's it. Now, in order for us to build amazing websites like this, where we would be having images in the background overlay, and on top of that, we can add as many elements as we want, either side by side, either above or between the other elements. So if you want to actually build this type of custom website, then we definitely want to use the custom page builder, because the default WordPress builder, if we go ahead and we just get rid of the customizer, and now we go into the edit page for our home page that we are on, and if I just click on here, it's going to take me to the edit page over here. Now this default builder that this WordPress is providing me actually sucks. So you can see that I can actually add an image in the background, then I can add a text, but let's suppose that above the text I want to add this image, and below that text I want to add another text, then I want to add 2 buttons in here. Now let's see if we have got any option for that, and you can see that we are not being given any option for that. So this is what the default WordPress builder is. Now, what we have to do is to install a different page builder inside the WordPress using a plugin, so that we can design custom websites like this. And that particular builder is actually called the page builder. Alright, so now let's talk about which page builder should we go with. Because if we go ahead and we go into the plugins and then we hit on add new, Now if you go ahead and we search for page builder, and now if you hit on enter, it's going to search for that particular keyword. Now you can see that we've got so many of the page builders over here. So which page builder should we actually go with? And the answer is really simple. You need to go with a page builder that has got the most installations and that has got most reviews. And we've got this Elementor website page builder that has got 5+ million active installations. So we can go ahead and we can use this page builder. So let's just go ahead and let's install now. And you can see that this is going to be installed on our website. So now once we actually install this page builder, it's going to be installed, and now we can hit on activate, and this plugin or the page builder is going to be activated. Now here it says you are here. Let's set the things up. So what we have to do is to just click on cross at the top right here. We need to hit on that, and that is going to be done. And now we have got this page builder. Now we're going to be going ahead and we're going to be taking a look at how we can actually design our pages. So if we now go ahead and we go into the pages, and now we click on all pages. Now if you go ahead and we click on edit over here, you can see that we are right here. So now I've got this edit with Elementor, and if I click on it, it's going to redirect me to the Elementor page editor. And now you can see that we are actually being given a full editor over here where we can drag and drop some of the stuff, and that is going to be added over there. So now you can see that if I bring my mouse to this content area, I am actually given a cross over here. So if I am to click on it, it's going to be gone from here. All right, so now here it says drag widget here. And now what we can actually do is that we can drag any type of widget directly in here, and that is going to be added on the website, and now we can style this. Now do not worry about this particular page builder if you do not know how it actually works. We have a dedicated section right after this particular lecture where we will understand each and everything about the page builder. Alright, so do not worry about it. Now, what I would actually recommend you to do is to just watch this, where we are actually where we are actually just understanding how it's actually done. Do not implement that. And from the next lecture, when we will be working with the basics of this particular page builder, Elementor page builder, then you can go ahead and you can implement that. All right, so let's get started. Now, you can see that here it says drag widget. So let's suppose that if I want to drag this heading element and I just drop it in here, that is going to be added. It says add your heading text over here. Now if I just go ahead and I just click on this grid button over here, if I just click on it, it takes me back to that particular page where now I can add particularly anything. So I'll be just unchecking this pro because I do not want to take a look at the pro elements right now. And now let's suppose that I want to add a button. So I'll just drag the button and I'll drop it in here, and you can see that I've also got a button over here. Similarly, if I just click on here, now I can go down and I can add so many more things. So like, let's suppose that I want to add a progress bar. So I just drag this and I just drop it in here, and you can see that that is added over here. Now, if we take a look at our project website, you can see that we've got the same progress bar over here. And if I refresh this, there is going to be that animation over here. So this particular website is also designed using this page builder. And we will be talking about that from the next lecture, like how we can go ahead and how we can use that. But here is the most important part. And that is, you can see that if you take a look at this website is fully designed. And now here, if you take a look at this website, we've got the title. We've also got a sidebar being shown over here. So what we have to do is to get rid of it. And now I want you to implement what I'm actually saying. All right, so the very first thing that you actually need to do is to go ahead and click on go back, and then you can just hit on leave website. All right, and now if you go ahead and review this page, you will see that we will be actually taken to the default view. That was our default view. Now what we have to do is to click on edit page. So now what we have to do is to just actually go ahead and we have to get rid of the title that we have over here. And we also have to get rid of this sidebar that we have over here. So how we're going to get rid of that? What we have to do is to go ahead and we have to go into the dashboard. Now once you are in the dashboard, here you will be given a message that will be install and activate Ocean Extra. Basically, this plugin is for the Ocean WP theme, and Ocean WP theme lets you actually get rid of the title and get rid of the sidebar so that you can actually design the full page using the page builder. So let's just go ahead and let's work with that. All you need to do is to hit on install and activate Ocean Extra, and if you are actually not being given link to download and install the Ocean Extra, then what you can do is that you can go ahead and you can open the plugins. All right, you can go into the plugins directory, you can go into the add new, and now you can search for Ocean Extra. All right, and once you are in there and you will search for that, you will be given that plugin that you can go ahead and you can hit on active and activate or install now, and then you can activate. Now what we have to do is to hit on skip. All right, we just do not want to do anything, so let's just go ahead and let's skip that. And now we have to go into the pages, and now we have to go into the all pages, and now we have to edit our home page. So let's click on edit, and once you will click on edit, now you can see that we've got this Ocean WP settings over here. So that means that now we can get rid of this title and this sidebar. So let's just go ahead and let's first get rid of the title that we have. What we will do is that we will go into the title. Now here it says display page title. We will disable that and we will hit on update. And once this page gets updated, now if we refresh our home page, that title is going to be gone. All right. Now what we have to do is to get rid of the sidebar that we have. So we will go ahead and we will go into the main settings. And now we've got this content layout. So inside the content layout, you need to select 100% full width. That's it. Now we have to go ahead and we have to hit on update. And now if we refresh this, you can now see that we are actually given the full area to design our website. And now if we go ahead and we click on edit with Elementor, it is going to take us to the Elementor page where now we can actually design this website. So now what I'll be doing is that I'll be getting rid of everything. I'll be just closing everything from here, and I'll be hitting on update. And now once this page gets updated, now if I go ahead and I hit on my website, you can see that there is nothing except for the logo, the menu, and the footer. The rest of the thing is empty, and now we can just click on edit with Elementor right from here, and this is going to take us to the Elementor page editor where now we can design this. So now from the next section, we will learn all about this Elementor page builder in detail. Now let me show you the power of Elementor. Now you do not have to do as it is on your website, otherwise you might get confused. What I want you to do is to just sit and relax and just see like how Elementor is actually going to help us design this type of website. So I'll be doing these things pretty fast. Now let's suppose that I want to add a heading. I'll just drag it and drop it in here. And now what I'll be doing is that I'll be applying a background image. So I'll be going ahead and I'll be going into the style. I'll be going into the image and I'll be uploading a background image. So let's suppose that I want to add the background image. Now I'll go into the layout and I'll set the height to have a minimum height and I'll increase that a bit just like that. Now I'll be applying a background overlay. So let me just go ahead and let me add that. I'll be actually using a black background overlay. And similarly, I'll also be increasing the opacity of that. Now what I'll do is that I'll just style this heading. So I'll be bringing this into the center. And let's suppose that I want to write here the best website. All right. And now what I'll do is that I'll go into the style and I'll change the color of that to white. and now I'll be increasing the size of it. Alright, so let me increase the size just like that. And now you can see that we have successfully basically created this particular design using the Elementor page builder. So now the question might come to you that we were also able to design this using the WordPress Gutenberg page editor. So why are we actually installing this Elementor on the website? And here is actually the reason. So that WordPress default editor was only allowing us to add a text on the image as an overlay. But let's suppose that we want multiple elements, like we want a button on below over here. We want to align it into the center, and we also want to add another text over here. We want to align that to center. So let's suppose that we want to do these type of customization. Then these type of customizations are actually done using the Elementor page builder. So that's it. Now from the next lecture, we will be working with the basics of Elementor. Now, before ending this lecture, here is the last thing that I want to tell you, and that is if you are actually getting the sidebar of the Elementor in a white color, so do not worry about it. Now, you can see that on my Mac, I'm actually using the dark mode. So if I go ahead and I just switch to the light mode, then you can see that this is going to be turned into white. So since I'm using the dark mode, that is why it is only gray. So if you are using white on your laptop or PC, just do not worry about it. From the next lecture, we will be diving deeper into the Elementor basics.
Do what you are actually interested in. If you can make a profession of your passion, I can tell you, you will be excellent at it. I think it's very important, you hear this cliche, you should be pursuing your dreams. Let me tell you, it actually has a practical sense. Those who have a deep interest in something, you want to go after it. I know the difficulties, I still remember the day telling a family where everybody had done science that I decided to switch from a master's in organic chemistry to a master's in political science. It was not an easy conversation. So, but my advice to you is this: stick with what you really have a feel for, and I assure you it will work.
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back. So as in the previous video, we decided that we will be using Elementor page builder for this particular course. In this video, we will be working up with the basics of Elementor. Now, Elementor is quite confusing when you start learning it, but as you progress with this course, you will find that Elementor is the easiest plugin out there in the market. Now, there are three things that confuses beginners the most, and those are sections, columns, and elements. And Elementor revolves around these three things. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. Let's take a basic structure of Elementor page builder, which is this. So now here is basically the basic boilerplate of Elementor. And you can see that I have made some squares, and this is right here. Now this blue square that is right here will be considered as a section, and S represents that. The maroon square right here will be considered as a column, and C represents that. And then this blue line, which is really very thin, will represent the element. So right here. You can see that first of all, we have this section. And inside this section, we have a column. And inside this column, we have an element. So element can be anything. Element can be like a heading. Element can be like a paragraph. An element can be like an image. An element can be like animation boxes that we will be adding on our website like this. So everything that is coming right here will be considered as element, whether it is this, whether it's a button, whether it's a heading, whether it's an image, or whether it's an icon box. Everything will be considered as an element. So now basically the number one thing is basically the section, and inside this section you can add a column, and inside that column you can add multiple elements. Now here comes one thing. An element can be stacked under the other element or above the element, which means that inside this section you can see I have a column, and inside this column I have two elements. So I can do it like that. Like inside this column, I have one element and then I have two elements. Let's take a look at it. First of all, what I want you guys to do is to make sure that you install the Elementor page builder, and then you are in the Elementor page builder on your home page. Now, once you will be on your home page, make sure that there is nothing, and your home page should look like this. So first of all, what we need to do is that we need to add a section. And what we will do, we will just click on this plus button over here, and the section is added in the background. Now it's telling you that how many columns you want to add. So we want to add a one single column so that we can add elements in it. So what we will do is that we will just select that we want to add one single column. And right here, you can see that this blue line that is coming will represent the section, and this dotted line that is coming will represent the column. And then in here, you can add elements inside this. So let's take a look at it. If I want to get the heading, I'm going to drag the heading and I'm going to drop it, and you can see that the heading has been headed here. Same like this, what I can do is that I can add a paragraph. I can just drop it, and this is going to be added here. But let's suppose that I want this heading to be here, and then I want some other elements right here before that. Like, let's suppose that I need an image to be right here, but I can only stack the image either below any element or above any element, like, which means that I can only add elements vertically. I cannot add the elements horizontally. And here comes the part of the column. So if you want to add anything horizontally, then you can add two columns like this. You can see that inside a section, you can add two columns into it, and you can design something like this. So inside this section, I have one column. In this column, I have an image, and the other column, I have a heading, I have a paragraph coming. So let's take a look at it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just click cross on it, and I'm going to just click on this sign right here, and I'm going to say that I need two columns. Now here you can see I have two columns. Now what I will do is that in the first column, I will drag an image, I will drop it, and here now I can upload the image, but I will not show you how to upload it. We will be just understanding it later on. This video is just only for understanding about sections, columns, and elements. That's it. You do not have to worry about styling, how to style it, how to do different type of things. We will be talking about them later on. And then in here, I can drag a heading. Just click this button over here that says this, so that you can go into the elements page and you can drag anything else over here. And now right here, I can add a paragraph, and then I can just select all. I can copy, I can paste, and paste. And now you can see that my structure right here is that I have an image, and then in here I have a heading, and then I have a paragraph. And same goes with this. Like, I have a section, and inside this section I have a column, and inside this column I have an image, and in the other column I have a heading, and then I have a sentence, or I have a paragraph. Now let's take a look at this. If I just click on it and I just open up my Elementor editor, first of all I have this section. This blue thing represents the section, alright? And then inside this section I have a column. When I bring my mouse to it, you can see that the column is right here, and this dotted line that is coming represents the column, and then this other column which is coming right here represents this. So what have we learned so far? We learned one thing, basically two things, is that elements can be stacked over one another vertically, which means that you can add an element, and then right below that or right above that you can add another one. Or what you can do is that you can also add any other element in between them. But if you want to add elements side by side, then you need to work with the columns, because columns can work horizontally, which means that you can stack columns horizontally. You can even just change their spacing. So let me show you. Like, you can see that if I need the image to be much smaller, I'm going to just hover my mouse to this, and you can see this sign right here. I'm going to drag this, and I'm going to do it like this. And now you can see how this column is much more shorter and how this column is much more bigger. So this is how you can even do it. Same like this, you can add multiple columns so that your columns can look like this. Like you can add 1 column, 2 column, and 3 column, and you can do it like that. So let's suppose that I need to add 1 more column. What I will do is that I will right click on this column, and here it says add new column. I'm going to click on it, and I have another column. And here I can add pretty well anything. Like let's suppose that I want to add Google Maps. I'm going to drop it right here, and here will be the Google Maps. I can just add the address, and here will be the Google Map coming. So I can even do it like this. Now let's go ahead and let's move back to the first part where we understand it about the section. So section is basically a part of a website. That means that in this section, what you can do is that you can add particularly anything. So let's take a look at this website that we will be building as our second project for this particular course. So here you can see that this is how the website will look like. And here, this is actually a one section. This is actually another section. And this is actually another section that we have over here. So inside this section, now here you can see that inside this section, we have a column, which is right here. And inside this column, we have a text element, and we have another text element stacked over one another. Now, what is this? This is basically a section, and inside this section, we have 4 columns, which is this, and inside this column, we have a text element. So this is how basically it's working. Same like this. This is a section, and inside this section, we have 1 column, and then we have another column, and then we have another column. So here we have basically 3 columns, and this is how it's looking. Now you have noticed one thing. Let me show you what. If I just open up this website, and then I just cross it right here, and then I want to add a 1 single column. Now here you can see that the section takes the full width of the page. However, the column is just like that. Now let me show you what I mean. Basically, you can see that the section takes the full width of the page, and the column takes just like a limited width of page. Now this is great in terms of websites. Like if a website is viewed on a large screen, then if you are using a background image, then you can upload that background image to a section so that it won't matter. However, the text should be aligned in such a way that it should be using that. So let me show you. Like you can see that when I just drag and drop, I do it like this, so you can see that my content, everything that's been right here is just like aligned this way. So you can see that everything is aligned this way. Now if I just bring my mouse above here, so you can see how everything is working. Now this is actually the column. The section can stretch, and in this section you can add a background color, and in this section you can just either keep it to be white, and in this section you can even add a background image. And mostly the sections contain the background images so that even if a website is viewed on a large screen device, then it would not matter. But the content of the column is actually this way, so that the column sizing is universal for whole website, so that the website view is not changed. And you can see how great this website is looking. Same goes with the Elementor, because in the Elementor, the section is actually the full width. However, the column is actually the size that you can work with. You can just click on this edit column, and you can work with the column width, like how much you need, and you can pretty well work with it. But we will be talking about that later on in the detail. First, we have to understand the section and column. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at another one. Now here you can see that first of all we have this section, and then we have another section. Now sections can be stacked vertically. Now what have we learned so far? Elements can be stacked vertically, which means that after an element you can add an element. The column can be stacked horizontally, that means that right after this column you can add a column, and you cannot add a column below any column. So you can just add a column beside a column, but you can add elements beneath an element or above the element. Same goes with the section. And the section is that after the section you can add another section that will come right after this. You cannot have sections like this section and then another section right here. You cannot do it this way. Let's have a look at that. So you can see that first of all I have a section, and inside this section I'm going to get a heading right here, and right down below now I can add another section, and in this section I can have a 2 column, and in the first column I can have an image, and in the second one I can have a text, and I can have a paragraph right down below. So you can see that this is how it's working. Now I have 2 sections. First I have this section, and then I have this section. Now you can see if I want to edit this section, I can edit it, and for the editing purposes we will be having a separate video, so do not worry about it. But what we wanted to learn is that first you can have a section, and then right after that you can have a section. And same is happening with this website. We have a section, and after that we have another section, and after that we have another section, and inside that we are having columns, so do not worry about it. But let's take a look at something which is this. Can you just add columns vertically as well? Like, let's suppose that if we want to add a section, and inside this section we want to add column, column, column. Like, columns can be stacked horizontally, but can the columns be stacked vertically? Let's go ahead and let's test it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just close this, and I'm going to add just like 3 columns. Now you can see that the 3 columns are right here. But let's suppose that I want to add another column right down below. Can I do that? If I just go ahead and I just click add new column, the column will be stacked horizontally. I cannot just bring the column down below. I can just change its position to right, left, 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 left. I can do it like that, but I cannot just do up, down. So how can you do that so that your column can look like this and we can achieve a design like this? So you can see that I have columns, and then I have columns. So if I want to achieve a design like this, how I'm going to do that? So you can see this is actually a section, and then inside this section I have a column, and inside this column I have this, and then I have this right here. So how can we basically achieve this design? Let's take a look at this. Now there are 2 solutions for that. Let's take a look at them and let's understand them. What you can do is that you can create 2 sections, like this section and then this section, and then in this section you can have 3 columns, and in this section you can have 3 columns, and then you can design it to be looking like this. Alright, so let's take a look at that and let's understand how it's going to work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cross this. I'm going to create a new section with 3 columns. And then in these columns, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to uncheck this Pro right here, and I'm going to get this icon box right here, and I'm going to drop it right here. So you can see that in this website we are actually using the icon box. Alright, so this is right here. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this icon box. I'm going to duplicate this icon box, and I have 3 icon boxes over here. I'm going to drag this icon box over here, and I'm going to drag this icon box over here. So now you can see that this is how it's looking. But if I want to add another column into it, then I cannot drag this column right down below. And the tweak to that is that what you can do is that you can add a new section with the same 3 columns again. And then what you can do is that you can go ahead and you can duplicate it, and you can just drag it right here. Then you can go ahead and you can duplicate it. Then you can drag it right here, and then you can go ahead and you can duplicate it, and then you can drag it right over here. So then this is basically achieved in a way, so like you can have 2 sections, and inside this section you can have multiple elements onto it. And then what you can do is that you can achieve this design in a way. But let's suppose that if we wanted to build it this way. Let's suppose that if we want to achieve this design, then how are we gonna achieve this design? So you can see this is actually a section. Then inside this section we have a column, and inside a column how are we gonna basically design this? So for that, here comes a tweak, and that is called the intersection. So how does the intersection works? This will really confuse you guys. Don't worry, just open up your mind, just watch and see what I am doing. All right, so basically you can see that I have a section, and inside this section I have a column, and then I can add an intersection, and then I can add multiple columns into it. Let's take a look at this. Let's suppose that we want to achieve this. So first of all, what we will do is that we will create a section. Let's go ahead and let's do that. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on it. I'm going to get rid of everything. I'm going to first create a section with a single column. All right. And now you can see that this section is created. Now what I need is that I need two columns so that the text can be in here and this boxes can be in here. So what I would do is that I would need to add two columns. So what I will need to do is that I will say that I want to add a new column. And now in here, there should be a text, and then there should be a text editor down below, and then I need a button. All right, so I need it this way. Now I'm going to just do it like this. Now, what I want is that I want two columns right here. I want two columns, and then I want two columns as well. So which means that I want this, and then I want this, and then I want this, and then I want this. So how am I gonna go ahead and how I'm gonna do that? And here comes a tweak, and that tweak is here is actually an intersection. So intersection can be added inside a column, and when you add it, you get a section, and you also get two columns by the default. So now what you can do is that you can get an icon box over here, and you can get an icon box over here, and then you can just go ahead and you can duplicate this intersection, so you ultimately get icon box and icon box. Now here you can see that we have ultimately achieved this type of design. So this is what I actually wanted to show you. Now I hope that your confusion is a little bit clear. Now let's take a look at them. Let's overview everything, and then we're going to end this video, and then we will be working up with our styling for the Elementor basics. Now, a section is the one that is the most important thing. Inside a section, there should be a column, and inside a column, there can be any element. Now, elements can be stacked over one another, but elements cannot come as a side by side. And if you want elements to be added side by side, then you should be adding columns, and the columns can be added horizontally, and you can add multiple stuff into it. So if you want to build this design, then you can add two columns. Inside the column, you can add an element, and then in here, you can add an element right here, and you can achieve design this way. Now, you can have multiple columns, and the columns can only be stacked horizontally, which means that the column can be added this way, but column cannot come right down below. If you want to achieve this design, then you have two options. Either you can create two sections and add columns into it, or you can create a section, add a column, and then you can add an intersection and add multiple columns to it, and then you can add an intersection and add multiple columns to it to achieve this particular thing. Now I hope that you have got a clear idea of how everything worked so far. So from the next video, we will learn the basic styling of Elementor, and after that, we will be going ahead and we will be designing this website. So stay tuned guys, and bye-bye.
a cancer drug known as Nexavar. It helps treat those who have late-stage kidney and liver cancer. Well, unfortunately, this treatment comes with a huge price tag. It costs about $69,000 a year at minimum for someone in the U.S. to take it. Well, India, the country of India, has a law that allows a different company to take out a patent and create the same drug if the Western company or the Western pharmaceutical company is charging too much for it. So instead of having to pay $69,000 for it, the people of India can get it for $177, which is a huge difference. So the CEO was actually speaking to Bloomberg Business Week. He said the following: "We did not develop this medicine for Indians. We developed it for Western patients who can afford it."
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back. So in this video, we will be working up with the Elementor styling. Now, as you can see that in the previous video, we worked with the Elementor basics and we understand it about like sections, columns, and elements. Now in this video, we will be working up with the Elementor styling, and we're going to be taking a look at layout, content, style, and advanced tabs that Elementor shows. Let me show you. So basically, if you take a look at any of the thing here, like let's suppose that when I want to edit this button, I'm going to right click on this button and it says edit button. If I just click on it, I get three things. The number one is the content, the other one is the style, and then we have the advanced. So now in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the most of the styling that are used in sections, columns, and the elements right here. So let's take a look at the section one. Now, if you go to any of the section and then you edit it, like this section, and then you right click on it, and then you just click on it that says edit section, we get layout, we get styles, and we also get advanced. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the most used styling that are used in a section. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. So what I want you guys to do is to make sure that you are in the Elementor editor and there are nothing right here. Now what you can do is that you can create a new section by just clicking the plus button and then selecting your column. And then what you can do is that you can add a heading right here. So that's it. This is how your section should look like. Now for this section, we basically use section for 5 things, mostly used. And I will be explaining you these 5 things only, but as you will progress with this course, then you will be understanding much more things without the need of just telling you right here. Otherwise, you will get confused. So basically, section is used for height control. Let's take a look at it. Now, if you take a look at this website, right here, you can see that the section size is this much right here. And then we have got so much height from here, and we have got so much height from here. So section is mostly used for the height control. Now let's take a look at it. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to right click on this right here that says edit section. I'm going to click on it, and now in here I am in the layout. So in the layout, you can control the height of this section. Now height of this section is right here, and it says by the default. So when it is set to default, it's going to take the content size of the section, and like let's suppose that if I just add another heading down below, my section is going to increase just like that. So this is how the default works. So I'm going to just delete this heading, and I'm going to go back to the edit section, and I'm going to come up here to the default. Now I'm going to select, like you can even set this to fit to screen, and whatever the size of the screen, it's going to stretch that. And if you just click this arrow icon over here, now you can see this is actually fit to my screen. So when I will just move up to any of the smaller screen size device, then it's going to just set the height of my section to that. Or what you can do is that you can even set this to a minimum height, and then you can set like what should be the minimum height of your section. So you can just increase that, or you can even decrease that. Now this is really great when you want to add a heading right here and you want to upload a background image. Let me show you. So if we go to itanzl.com, which is going to be our project for this course, obviously. And so you can see that right here, I have some spacing down below. I have some spacing right up here. So what is happening is that we are actually giving some of the height, a minimum height to this particular section, so that it just have a breathing space right from the top and bottom. Same like this, we have some breathing space from the top and bottom, and we have some breathing space from this and this. So this is what is happening, is that we are basically setting a height for this. Same like this, now we have this inner width. Now let's take a look at it, what inner width is and how you can control the inner width of a section. Now if you take a look at this, now all these sections that we have are actually in applying the same width, that is this much that is being added over here. Now you can see that everything is aligned in a way that our website is looking much more clean. But let's suppose that you want to make any of your section much more bigger, so that the content is right here and you want to increase the width of it. Then how you're going to do that? Let's take a look at the inner width. So for the inner width, what you can do is that you can select your section, and then we have this width. And width is actually selected to the box, and that has a default value. But let's suppose that I want to increase it so that it is actually full width. If I just click on it, then it will be full width, and whatever the screen size you have, it will be fully width. It will have a full width. All right. Same like this. If I just select box, then I can just decrease the width. Like let's suppose that I want to decrease the width, then here should be my content, and my content will not grow outside of it. Same like this, you can increase it like how much you want, but most of the time we use 1200 pixels for our website, and we do not go beyond that. Like our content should be right in here, and whatever we want to add, we will add in here. Like if we need something right here, we will add it right here. So like you can suppose like when we are in class and we want to write something on the paper, our teacher says that you have to give some margin. So this is actually like you can say that this is going to be a margin right from here and right from here as well, so that your content should be aligned in such a way that your website should be looking beautiful. Same like this, you can see that our content here, our logo, our menu, our top bar is also aligned with 1200 pixels, so it is not going beyond that. And most website uses 1200 pixels to be their width. Same like this, you can increase it how much you want, and you can go beyond that. But I'm going to be using 1200 over here. Now let's take a look at the background color. So you can apply a background color to any of your section. Like if you take a look at this website, we do have a background overlay. We do have this, but here we have a background color to this particular whole section that says what I can do. So if you want to upload a background color, then what you can do is that you make sure that you are in the edit section over here, and then you need to look. Like we don't have this color, so we're going to go into the style, and now we have this background type. Now you're going to have to select a classic one, and now it says the color. So you can set any of the color you like, and there we go. We have a background color right here. Same like this, you can upload a background image. And when you want to upload a background image, then what you're going to do, we're going to first go ahead and clear our background color. Then what we're going to do, we're going to select an image by just right here. If you just go into the classic again, you can see we have this image. And what you can do is that you can select any image. You can upload that cover image, and then you can just add it right here. Now you can see that we do have an image, and this is how the image is actually working. So you can also work with the background image, and the last one is the background overlay. You can also work with the background overlay. So if you want to add a background overlay on top of image, you can do that by just going into the style. Let me just show you from the start. I'm going to click this gear icon so that I'm right here. You're going to have to right click on it, click edit section, go into the style, and then in here you can see we have so many sections. We have background and background overlay. You can just click on it. You can select a classic one, and you can add a color on top of it, and now you can just increase the opacity, or you can decrease the opacity however you like. So these are the most used styling that we will be using in this particular course, and that is why I wanted to give you an overview. Now there are a lot of stylings, as you can see. There is the border, there is the shape divider, and there is a lot of things that you can also work with them. You can take a look at them, you can understand how they are working, but don't worry, even if you do not want to do, as long as we will be progressing with this course, you will be able to understand much more things without the need of just like explaining you. So now let's take a look at the columns one. So for the column, we have the width, we have the background color, we have the box shadow, and then we have the border. So these are the most used styling that we mostly do for our column. So let me just open up the Photoshop right here. I'm going to go down, and you can see that these are actually the columns right here. These are the columns, and this is the whole column that we have. So like, let's suppose that this is a section. Then what we are doing is that we have a column inside it. Then what we have is that we have inside this, we have an inner section. And in this inner section, we have one column, and then we have another column. So this column has a background color of white, and this column has a background color of white. And same like this, all these four columns has a background color of white. That is why they're looking much more clean. Now let's take a look at it, and let's just see if we can use this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open up my website right here. I am going to just cross everything. I'm going to create a new section. I'm going to go into the select the column, and now I'm going to click edit section. I'm going to go to the style, and I'm going to choose a color. So let me just choose the colors to be black. I'm going to go to the layout, and I'm going to set it to be a minimum height so that I do have a minimum height just like that. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add another column. I'm going to click add new column so that I have two columns. And then what I will do is that I will add a heading right here. So it's going to say the best website. And then what I will do is that I will add an intersection right in here so that I have two columns. And now in here, I can add a web design and then some of the content. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get text. And then I'm going to get a text editor right down below so that I do have some of the text. And now you can see that this is how it's looking. So what I will do now is that I will just go ahead, I will duplicate this column, and then I will delete this column so that I have two columns just like that. And now what I can do is that I can right click on it, click edit column, and then I have so many things. I have layout, I have style, I have advanced. So what I can do is that I can go into the style, and I can select a classic color, and then I can set this to white, and now you can see how is it looking. So what I can do is that I can copy this column, and then I can right click on this column, and I can say that I want to paste the style of the column that I just copied. And now you can see this is how it's looking. So we are actually just getting this design, but there is some spacing, and this spacing is actually given by margins and paddings. And so for that, we will have a new video that will be right after this, and inside that video we will be understanding that. So now we are fully done with the background color. Same like this, you can apply a box shadow as well. So let's take a look at it. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on this arrow, and I'm going to right click on this edit column, and in the style I have this border. So in the border I have this box shadow. I can just add a shadow of, like, let's suppose that I want to give a red color shadow, and then I can just increase it horizontally, vertically, and I can work with the blur right here. So now you can see that we do have this shadow right here. So if I just delete this column right here, I have one single column, and then I have a shadow right here of this box that is coming. So we also use column for that. Same like this, we also use column for the width as well. So let's suppose that if you want to change the width of it, you can just go ahead and you can do that. You can go into the layout and you can work with the column width. So if I need it to be 50%, then I'm going to do it. But you can see that I cannot go for 50%. And the reason for that is because I don't have two columns in this section. So what I will do is that I will add a new column, and then this width of this column will be automatically set to 50%. So now if I want to decrease it, like let's suppose that I want to set it to 30, then it will be 30, and this will be 30, this column, and this column will be actually 70 automatically. So if I just right click on this, then you can see that this is actually 70. So let's suppose that I want to make it to be 90, then it's going to be 90, and this is going to be 10 automatically. So you can work with the column width inside of a section as well. Then the last one is actually the border. So border is also mostly used for the column. So if I just right click on it, and then I go into the style, and then I go into the border, then I have this border right here. So you can upload, add a border, like you can set a solid color, and you can set the color to be red, and then you can increase the boldness of it. So let's suppose that I increase it from every side, then you can see I do get a red border right here. Now if I just set this to like 2 pixels, then you can see how amazing it's looking, just like that. So you can add a border as well, and same like this you can add border radius. So let's suppose that I want to add 20 pixels from every side, then you can see how this element gets curved, and this is what we call as a border radius. So these are the things that you mostly do with the column. Now don't worry about it, there are a lot of things that you do with the column, like you can give some spacing from every side, you can give spacing from the inside as well, and these are mostly done using margins and paddings that we will be talking in the next video. Now let's take a look at the elements. So for the elements, we mostly use the elements for the content, color, and font size. Let's take a look at it. Now, if you take a look at any of the elements, like this is the element, if I just right click on it and then I click edit heading, we have the content. So you mostly use the element for adding some of the content, like we want to write something, so we can write it with this. The other one is the color, so you can use the element for changing the color. If we go into the style, then we have this color, so you can click on it and you can change the color of it. And same like this, you use the element for the font and the size of it. So let's suppose that you want to increase the size of it, you can do it. In the typography, if you click this item over here, here we have the size. So you can increase the size, you can decrease the size, and there are a lot of other styling as well that we will be able to understand it as long as we will be progressing with this course. So these are the 3 main things we do with the elements. Now, I hope that you have got a basic idea of what are the things we use mostly in styling, the basic styling of Elementor. Now from the next video, we will be taking a look at margins and paddings, what they are. They are a bit more confusing, so I want you to pay attention in that video. So from the next video, we will be talking about margins and paddings. Stay tuned, guys, and bye-bye.
If you punish people too much for failure, then they will respond accordingly, and the innovation you will get will be very incrementalist. Nobody's going to try anything bold for fear of getting fired or being, punished in some way. So there must be the risk reward must be balanced, and favor taking bold moves. Otherwise, it will not happen.
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back. So in this video, we will be working up with the margins and the paddings, and this comes in the Elementor Advanced tab. So if you go to the website right here, now let's suppose that I add a section and then I add a full column, and now right here I add a heading right here. Now this is the heading that is right here. Now in the advanced, if I just click on it, I get margin and I get the padding. So we're going to be understanding these 2 things, as these 2 things are really very critical when you are designing a website. And also these things are really hard to understand at first, but as you will progress with this course, it will be very much easier for you. And after this video, you will be amazed to see how easy it is to work with the margins and paddings. So you have worked with the margin already before, like when you wanted to write something on your copy on a page, you just draw a line and then you write it. So that is actually what we call as a margin. Same like this, if you open up Microsoft Word, we do get margin from the top and from the left as well. And when you are writing something, you can just write it just like that. So if I just go to lipsum.com, I just hit generate lorem ipsum, I copy out the whole paragraph, and I just go into the Microsoft Word and I just paste it. You can see that what is happening. We do have some spacing from the left, from the top, and from the right here as well. And right from the bottom we do get it. So if I just go ahead, I just copy everything and I just paste it twice, then you can see that on the first page I do get from the bottom as well. So these are actually the spacing. And same goes with the margin and the padding. So margin and padding are actually spacing. Now margin is the space outside the element, and the padding is the space that is inside the element. So this is very much easy. Just keep that in mind. Margin is the space that is outside the element, and padding is the space that is inside the element. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at it. Now what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to create a new section, go into the column, select the first column, and then just drag the heading right here. Now you can type in here anything, and now what you need to do is to go into the style, change your styling, and increase the font size a bit so that you can see what we are doing in here. Alright, and now what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to just edit the heading again, right click on it, click edit heading, and now go to the advanced, and in the advanced go into the border right here. And now in the border, just select the border to be solid border. Select a color. So we're going to be selecting the color to be red, just like that. And we're going to be increasing the width of the border. Alright, so now you can see that this is how it's looking. We have an element, and this element is actually the heading. Now here the blue line is coming right here, that is representing that this is an element. So if I just set my border to none, then you can see this blue line is actually coming when this heading is selected, telling you that this is actually the element that has been selected. Now when I apply the solid color to it, this blue line is basically still there, but it is not quite visible, so that is why I just wanted to tell you. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the padding, and let's take a look at the margin. So padding is basically the space that is inside. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to increase the padding right from here. I'm going to bring my mouse to it and I'm going to just increase the padding. So see what is happening. When we increase the padding is increased from top, right, bottom, and left, and every side is getting a padding right here. So basically the spacing is being given from the inside of the element. Now if I just go ahead and I add the margin, I just increase it, see what happens. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hold it, and then see what is happening is that the margin creates spacing outside the element. So when you want to give spacing inside the element, you add padding, and when you want to give spacing outside the element, you add margin. Now this might be very confusing to you guys. Do not worry, we're going to be taking a look at an example, and after that you will be able to understand it much better. Let's take a look at the same example I was referring to. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quickly design this, and then we're going to see how we can give some spacing from the top, bottom, and everywhere to these particular columns right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a section with 2 columns. In this column, I'm going to be adding this text, and the other column will have an intersection. So let's just go ahead and let's add a text, and then let's add a text editor, and then let's add a button down below. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click edit section. I'm going to set it to have a minimum height, just like that. And now I'm going to go into the style. I'm going to go to the classic color, and I'm going to choose my color just like that. And now you can see we do get a design of this. Now what you can do is that you can style your headings and text like that, but we're not going to be doing that. We are basically focusing on this thing right here. So what we want to do is that we want to add 2 columns, and then we want to add 2 columns right down below. And so for that, what you need is that you need to have an inner section. Now in this inner section, what we will do is that first of all, we will be adding a heading. And this heading will tell us about our service, that is the web design. All right, this is going to be our first service. I'm going to align this to center right here. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go into the edit column, right click on this, click edit column, go to the style, and then select the background color to be white. All right. Then what you can do is that you can right click on the heading, click edit heading, go to the style, and change the text color to black. All right. Now what you can do is that you can get the text editor and drop it right here. And then you can just add a one single sentence. And now what you can do is that you can go to the style and then you can select like center it. And now you can select the color to be black. Now if you take a look at this, we do get a design like this. All right. But now what we need to do is that we need to add another element. We just need to basically duplicate this. So what we can do is that we can right click on this column, click duplicate, and now we get 3 columns. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete this. Now what has happened is that we have 2 columns. Now what we will do is that we will go ahead and we will duplicate this section, inner section right here. So we do get like 4 columns. Now what we will do is that we will change the second one to SEO, graphic design, and mobile app. So now what we need to do, we need to give spacing from this column and we need to give spacing from this. And what we mean, we are selecting this column. So when we are selecting this column, we need to give spacing right here. And what we are doing is that we are giving the space outside the element. So if you take a look at it, this is the element, all right? The element that I'm referring is actually the column because I want to give spacing from the column. So I want to give spacing outside the column right here. And when we want to give spacing outside, what do we use? We use margin. So what we will do is that we will select our first column. We will click edit column on it. And then what we will do is that we will go to the advanced. And now we want to give spacing outside. So we will say that we want to just give some margin. So what we want to do, we want to give some margin from the right side so that we do get some spacing. Now see what happens when I want to give spacing from the right side. So let's suppose that I increase it. The margin is given from every single side right here. Now let's suppose that I want to give margin from only the right side. Then what I would do is that I would first set this to 0. And then I would need to just uncheck this that says link values together. And now I can give any of the margin from each specific side where I want to give. So what I will do is that I will increase it. I will say that I want to give 10 pixels. And now you can see I do get some spacing right from here. So let's suppose that I just say that I want to give a margin from the right to be 5 pixels. And now you can see I do have some spacing. So now I want to give this margin to every side of the column. So what I will do is that I will right click on this column. I will copy the style. I will right click on this column. I will paste the style. I will right click on this column. I will paste the style and I will right click on this column and I will paste the style. Now if I just click on this arrow, you can see that I do get the spacing right here. But I want to give this spacing from the top as well. So for the top, what I would do is that I would select this column and I would go to the advanced, and now I want to give this spacing from the top as well. So I will say that I want to give 5 from the top. All right. And now I would select this column again. I would go to the advanced and I would say that I want to give 5 from the top. And now you can see that I have got this much spacing right here. And we are getting this particular design that we already did, and we do have this spacing that we wanted to give. Now, here you can see that inside this column, we have some spacing. We have some spacing right here, and we have some spacing right here, and we have some spacing right here, and we have some spacing right here. So what we would need to do for that? And so for that, what you need to do is to give padding. So how do you give padding? Let's just go ahead and let's click edit column and let's increase the padding. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on this up right here. And now you can see that when I'm giving the padding, how the spacing is being created from the top and the bottom. So on just reaching 35, we do get the exact same spot. So when you have reached this, what you can do is that you can copy the style and you can paste the style right here. And now you can go ahead and you can select this column as well, and you can set this to 35 for the padding, and you can set this to 35 for the padding as well. Now, I would recommend you to watch this video once again so that you can see what we did over here. We gave the padding on this column so that we do get spacing from the inside, and we gave the spacing outside so that we do get just like we can just separate these particular columns, and we do get a spacing right here. And now you can see that this design is kind of like matching this design that is right here. All right. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at another example so that you can understand what I have told you. Now, if we go above, you can see that this is already another section. All right, this is basically another section. And how this section is created, like this section is half above, then we have 4 columns. So how this section is created, we want to see that. So what we will do is that we will go ahead and we will create our Elementor right here. And then what we will do is that we will create a 4-column section. This is a section, and we have 4 columns right here exactly like this. All right. So now what we will do is that we will go ahead and we will add some counters in it. So we will just click on this right here. We will go down, and where it says the counter, we're going to just drag it and drop it right here. And now what we will do is that we will go ahead and we will copy this, and we will paste it here, and we will paste it here, and we will paste it here. So now we have these counters right here. Now what we need to do is that we need to basically bring this counters right above here so that we can see this in a square type thing right here. So for that, what you need to do is that you need to select this section, and now you need to bring this section right on just a little bit above here. So what you will do is that you will go to the advanced, and now you can see that when we wanted to give some margin, if we were to give some margin from the top, I'm going to unlink the value so that the margin is actually given from the top as well. So when I increase the margin, my element goes down because like the spacing is being created from the top on this particular section. But if I just decrease my margin and then I decrease it, so then you can see that my margin is going into the minus, and then my numbers are just going a little bit above, just like that. And you can see that how is this performing. So we have this numbers right here. And now what you can do is that you can go ahead and you can select edit column. You can go to the style. You can add a white color on it. All right. And now what you can do is that you can go ahead and you can copy this item, and you can paste the style, and you can come up here and paste the style, and you can come up here and paste the style. So now you can see that we have got this design right here, and this is right here coming. Same like this, if you want to give border right down below, you can add that too. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to have to select edit column, go into the border, and we want to give the border a solid color, and we want to give it only in the bottom. So what we will do, we will unlink the values, and we will give a border. All right, the border is actually 4 pixels. Now what you can do is that you can copy this style, you can come up here and you can paste the style, and you can come up here and you can paste the style, and you can come up here and you can paste the style. And now when you will click this arrow, you can see we do get a border right here. So now if I just go ahead and I add another section, I just add a full section. And right here, I add a heading. And then I add a text editor. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy everything and paste it just like that. And now you can see that this is how it's looking. So now, let's suppose that I want to give some spacing from the top. Then what I would need to do, I would need to select this section. I would go to the advanced. I would unlink the values. And I want to give spacing from the top. So what I would need to do is that I would increase my margin just like that till I get my perfect spot. And now I do have the spacing. So this is how the margins and the paddings works. And now you can see that how we have achieved this design, and we have added this design over here, and we have implemented this. Same like this, we have also achieved this design that is right here. Now, there are a lot more designs that we will be working up throughout this course that will be done with the margin and the padding. So I would recommend you to go ahead and rewatch this video once again so that you can understand like how margin and how paddings work. And after that, you can go ahead and you can work on with this particular course. Stay tuned, guys, and bye-bye.
You are not a money lender. I spent so much money on you, and in my old age you should return. No. We bring up children for our joy. We brought them up. We have to bring them up. It's such a beautiful joy. It's a God's gift to us. Also, it's a responsibility. And if you understand what to do, what not to do, I'm sure you will have a great journey with your children. As a mother, I want to tell you, girls will not listen to you after 14 years. Girls will, about 12, 13 years, girls become little upset, may not tell everything, but they become great friends after 19. Okay? Boys will be very affectionate to mothers up to 14. Okay? After that, they have their whole world, and they look down upon cricket is the greatest thing, other things are less, and all those, because it is all cycles, So enjoy your boys up to 14. Enjoy your girls after 19.